Hi folks, welcome for the first time on this channel to the Team Regionals event. So this is a new event on the Thrones calendar where players play in teams, and I have the Jousting Pavilion entry here, so you can see the first round has already been played. So today we'll be watching a game from the second round, and since I'm not taking part in this event and I'm not really all that familiar with the format, I have someone who is joining me today. Say hello to Nico.
Hey everyone, thanks Mia for having me and for streaming this.
Yeah, so you can tell us, Nico, what the format is like in this event and what game we will be watching tonight.
Yeah, so the tournament is organized by Zinni and I think a couple of other folks. So sorry for those others and that I don't remember your names. And the idea is teams of one or more players. Usually it's at least two, and I think the minimum actually is three. And you have to decide on 4 decks, and you can't use a faction twice or an agenda twice. So it's fine to use, let's say, Tyrell and Benna Rose, but you can't use 2 Tyrell decks or 2 Night's Watch decks or whatever, or 2 Reigns of Castamere decks. And then each round you're paired randomly with another team, and then you have to look at the other team's decks and decide on 3 decks that you want to play against them, and they do the same. And once you decided which decks to play and who to pilot them, again there's a random pairing, and that's the matches that are being played, and it's a best of 3, so 2 wins the round.
Okay, and today I believe we have this pairing, Sir Jorah's Lonely Hearts Club Band playing
Yeah, that's my team.
the Beast from the East. You can check the players here on a separate entry. So as you can see, Beast from the East has Polish players playing, and the other team, I guess you are all German and Austrians, right?
Yeah,
This one. Okay, and is this the first game of this round?
Yeah, this is the first game, and the other team, super strong players, really good decks, and at least from our end or in our view, how the decks match up and how the pairings ended up being. We think this is gonna go their way in the end. We may lose every game, we may take one, but I think we need a lot of luck to win this round. So. I think Lukas has played this matchup. He will play Neo with his really strong Stark Fealty deck, and he has lost this matchup twice in the last 2 months or so. So it's definitely possible for him to win, but it's tough.
Right, so it's open deck lists in this event.
Yes. Good point. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I have the decks here. I'm not sure if I should show them. Do you think the viewers will want to see them in advance? I know when I commentated on an event like this, the Battle of the Nations last year, I did not really enjoy knowing all the decks in advance, but we can show them if you think it's worth it.
We could post the link in the video, and then I think it should be public. I'm not sure, yeah.
Okay, I'll post the link so you can pause the video and check the decks in advance if you like to do that. I have not studied them in detail, I just had a very quick look before the game will start. So the players are ready. Let's join the game.
Yeah, so it's Neo just won the German Nationals with his deck, and Evert Lukas just won Champions of Westeros with his deck. So it's 2 very, very strong decks.
And of course this deck, Stark Fealty, I know had some less typical cards. I know it had Rickard Karstark in that event, which was quite interesting. And on the other hand, Lukas won before the restricted list really hit Night's Watch, I believe. So Great Ranging, of course, and Castle Black are now restricted, so it's slightly more difficult.
Yeah, that's true, but it's still, I've played it quite a bit him against his deck, and it's still a really, really strong deck. So yeah, but the matchup is, I think, with and we already see Greywater Watch. That's a really important card for Neo. So the combo Greywater Watch and Catelyn can really shut down a lot of what Lukas is trying to do. So this is a pretty good, and this is probably Mira, you're Miha. But Mira is probably in shadows, and that's also a really good card for Neo. So this is a pretty good start for him, I think.
Okay, lots of gold. So we'll see if something big comes into play. So as I said, I haven't studied the decks in detail, but I would assume this deck plays Great Ranging and Jon Snow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically an aloof deck, like the typical aloof Night's Watch deck, but instead of the aloof agenda, you get the Reigns agenda, more flexibility and the more answers in your plot line. And to make sure that you have enough econ, he runs quite a bit of money plots, and so that's basically the trade-off. I think it was originally an idea from Argento, and then Lukas kind of ran with it and made it his own. And yeah, so that's the basic premise. So you will see a lot of big characters.
Yeah, and the watch has searches for rangers here and finds 2 copies of Corin, but no gold to play him. Instead we have Great Ranging.
So fresh recruits. Yeah, so I think those 2 events are one of the reasons that Night's Watch has been so strong lately, because this ability to just get dupes on demand is very, very useful.
Yeah, interesting. For a long time this event, Fresh Recruits, wasn't really played. You had separate teams in Night's Watch: Builders, Stewards, Rangers, and then a couple of cards that worked if you had all of those traits in play. And wasn't really worth it to do that, but I think the thing that is the most important here is that Great Ranging has 2 traits. So if you play Fresh Recruits, you can immediately find 2 copies, so it comes into play duped, and then of course it's much more difficult to get it off the board, and it's such a huge body with 3 keywords.
Yeah, I think that and the newer decks that play Night's Watch, they use usually a range of characters. They don't only use stewards or only builders, but Corin is in there quite a bit, and then Jon, obviously, as you said, Great Ranging, Tywin, often. So you have a good spread of, and then the supporting cast with the different, Aemon and what's the attachment move guy? I forget his name right now.
Spareboot.
Yeah, Spareboot. Yeah, he's a builder. So yeah, it's really good flexibility, I think. And then in general, I think there's been a bit of an econ, inflation, so that the 3 cost is not as daunting as it used to be.
So we have 2 gold left, and presumably Mira in shadows, which could blank Great Ranging. And we have the presence of a Bolton Flare here, so that means it's currently killing Stewart at the wall, and if Neo wins a military challenge, there could be some damage done here in round 1. Card in shadows on the other side as well.
Yeah. That could be either pinch or force patrol.
With a standing location. Is there exposed duplicity in the Rains deck here?
Yes.
Alright, so can't really keep Mirror and Shadows through that. Okay, blocks the Rains trigger.
Ah, interesting. So it might be pinch. Either that or Lukas thinks, oh, they're gonna die anyways. May as well not use up the force patrol, but my guess would be that pinches and shadows. So probably another money plot from Lukas to try to build a board. And we might see a 2-claim plot from Neo. He has 1 2-claim plot in there. No.
Okay.
Both wrong. Well, I mean, I guess money plot a little bit, but
yeah, it is kind of
rationing.
Rationing stops, of course, Rains altogether. Okay, so I guess something that can be reduced by 4 is in hand, maybe the wall.
Or ranging party. It's also in there. It's the wall.
And still the goal to play Corin if he wants to.
Mira is a really, really strong answer for great ranging. So shuts it down pretty well. Not cheap though. Neo hasn't found a lot of econ yet.
Yeah, no attachments is really nice on these armies.
Yeah. Well, there's the econ. So interesting that Lukas plays Saturn with a Bolton Flare in play.
Well, it is possible to kill Bolton Flyer, of course, with Corin, in theory.
That's true, yeah. But not, no, it's not not this round because of rationing.
Alright. Blanks, great ranging. Now, does Lukas just play defensively here to trigger the wall?
Well, you could at least attack on Intrigue Or actually, you could attack on military and then intrigue and still have 3 bodies to defend. But he passes.
Right, reserve value is the same, so rangers can be bypassed by stealth.
Yeah, I think when we trained this matchup, Lukas won every game, but that's only due to me not playing Neo's deck very well. I think with him piloting it, he has it's probably has some advantages in this matchup.
Okay, so this is a problem now. Starting past Satin means Great Ranging has to defend, but then Northern Armory on Mirakud near the wall.
Yeah. And Neo with Jory Cassell also has a save in case Lukas is tempted to throw a Valar. He would probably save Mira, so it's also not really a great option.
Well, now the Bolton Flare will start killing star characters if Lukas doesn't
Yeah.
marshal anything small.
Okay, that's interesting. Neo might be hoping to get rid of that one more character, and then he has some Shadow of Winter or Winter is Coming in hand. And I tried this with like having a small board and then doing multiple claims, but I never was able to really punch through decisively, so we'll see if it works. Definitely no bypassing with stealth this round.
Is he playing Ramsey in this deck?
I don't think he is.
Obviously wasn't in hand anyway, because he would have gone first then, but it's interesting leaving this single character unprotected from stuff like Ramsey or March to the Wall.
Well, there's no Marched in the deck. In Neo's deck, I mean. And Ramsey, as far as I know, he doesn't run him, but I'll check.
Here come the 3 casters back. And the 2 casters, so there is another Bolton Flare, now has a target.
Yeah, no Ramsey. Yeah, that's very, I mean, maybe he expects military claim and then he will claim him. Okay, the flare is gone. What did I miss?
Yeah, that's the one character that left play for the Harris.
Okay, sorry about that.
And this time Mira is stuck in play, of course, no Winterplot. So we see if Great Ranging can do any damage.
Yeah, the cards will be a welcome sight. Although without Saturn it's only one, but it's interesting with these Night's Watch decks. If you find Bowen, then you kind of have way more cards than you can ever play. But if the game goes this way and you don't really draw with Great Raging for some reason, then they can kind of run out of cards a little bit.
There he is. Okay, and Carhold. So that stops Gran in theory, does it?
No, because
no.
it's move. Gran is move power, so I think that should work.
Right, so stops almost nothing, I would assume. In this deck we saw Corin earlier. That's a character with renown.
Yeah. I think it's in this situation it's mainly for activating Ricard. So there's 2 gold left and 1 card in shadow, so this might be one what is it, Shadow of the North or Shadow of Winter? I forget. Well, this claim race shadow event, and then winter is coming. That would get it to 3 claim. That would be quite painful. Plus the Ricard trigger.
But decent chance that one of the cards in shadows might now be the Forest Patrol.
Yeah, I think it's 100% chance actually. That makes it harder for sure.
Okay, here comes the Reigns attempt, so 12. Huh. It can be stopped. Okay, Sunset Ice, so that was a 2-cost character.
Interesting.
Guess the Bolton Flyer is now staying, so it kills Spearwood first, and now it will need to kill the House Manderly Knight next round.
I wonder if Lukas plays Valar now. He would hit Ricard and Mira. Well, no, he would lose. Jory would save one, so maybe not. Yeah.
Political disaster. Now let's see how this interacts with Ricard. Okay, so he triggers after the locations have left play, so he can take anything. And he takes the armory.
So I wonder if he has another Greywater Watch in hand then, though, because that's a super important location.
So Ivan doesn't kneel in the military. Nothing else with stealth at the moment. And now gold left for that pinch in shadows. And now Rickard becomes really annoying because there is not enough soak, I guess, for his ability.
Yeah. Yeah, and Neo can just sacrifice the knight and has new targets for the flare.
Yes, probably playing around that right now, thinking what to marshal so that he doesn't need to kill anything from his side of the board. But it's not that easy if he has a lot of low cost. I guess those decks that play Bolton Flares usually would not play that many low cost characters.
Yeah, he has quite a few. He has the knights, Bran, Mira, Sansa, Winterfell Stewards. So there's quite a few low costers in there. You know, that's never good to read as an opponent.
Yeah.
So many options.
And he is on 6 power already, and the Winter Festival will trigger here unless something unexpected happens, like a race trigger into Forgotten Plans or something.
Yeah. No Forgotten Plans as far as I know. Yeah, Jeremy Riker would change a lot here, giving Lukas a lot of power icons. As is, it's tough. He will lose the power challenge every round. And even though there's no renown on the board, he's still already quite far behind. So, tough place. So, Miha, have you played against either of these decks?
It's very possible that I might have played some casual games, but nothing serious. I've played obviously against other great ranging decks with either Loof or the Prince that was promised. It was always a tough one.
Yeah.
So we have Rob Stark. No real renown here for any kind of rush from that. And we have a 1-cost character, so that's going to take Bolton Flares kill effect now.
Well, depends. If Lukas attacks on military, then he could kill that one for claim and then sacrifice the knight, or the other way around, whatever. And then he could still kill Aemon or whoever.
Right, that would work. But of course then Mira also needs to stay in shadows.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless she blanks Bolton Flare, which is possible in theory, but unlikely. Okay, so we have Wildfire Assault. That's going to change the state of this board.
That makes sense.
And all the low-cost stuff is gone. And there still hasn't been a Ricard trigger here, right?
No, I think he waits until... Yeah, so now it makes sense to trigger him. But I don't know if he will... Well, depends on if he brings another flare or something out of shadows. I think he really wants to keep Jory, because if he doesn't keep Jory, then Lukas could flip Valar Morghulis and kill Rob and Ricard, which would be a heavy loss. Yeah, so that makes sense.
Okay, Lukas is done. And now I think that lack of a power icon will really hurt here.
Yeah.
And another unopposed. Okay, no Ricard, at least. So up to 11. Is there a second Winter Festival?
No. It's just very solid play by Neo, just hitting just a really strong plot succession.
And not using forced march at all. Of course, it's so easy to just sacrifice a character and stand everything with Rob.
So, unless Lukas has drawn Jeremy Riker, this might be it. And there he is. Yeah, but still there's not that many plots left. Valar Morghulis is coming, so Lukas really needs to find some dupes otherwise.
Yeah, and I think Mira is still just going to blank him, right?
For Jeremy, yeah, true. But then he might, he might be able to trigger pinch. Yeah, it's still the best play for sure. Probably is going to be over this round. Yeah.
Not looking good. So hopefully your team has a couple of strong decks left after this one.
I'm afraid the other matchups are, well, I don't know. I don't know about the one matchup we have is Robert with Lenny Rose against Radek with his Lenny Kraken. I have no idea how that matchup is, but the Lenny Kraken deck is exceptional and Radek plays it really well. And even though Robert is also a really strong player and the deck is really good, I would guess that they have an edge there as well. And then my matchup against Makak is, I mean, there's a chance there. It really, from testing, it really depends how the cards fall, but I think there's might also be an edge for them there. So yeah, I think we need all the luck in the world.
Well, we'll see. Anything can happen.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna fight, but yeah, really good players, really good decks. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so Mira doesn't bother with Jeremy, she just blanks Great Ranging. And now there is the possibility of using Gren here, so he could move 2 power, which slows Neo down a little bit.
Yeah, but he can just defend and then trigger Ricard. And stand everyone. Okay. Okay. No, yeah, but Bob, he can use Grey Water Watch, so.
Well, currently it is possible to defend it, so defend with everything and then Great Water Watch on Rob to add him to the challenge.
Yeah, I think maybe the reason that Neo is thinking is that he expects Pinch to be in shadows, and if it is it a problem if Lukas can trigger it? Because if he can only defend if he uses Grey Water Watch, so that would not be available anymore to prevent the Pinch and the Reigns trigger. So I think he's probably weighing his options there. Although he could actually just use it and then bring it out of shadows again. Okay. Interesting.
Okay, so it takes
Oh, very interesting. Okay.
Rob and then uses Jory to save and gives Rob 1 power, so okay.
Okay. That makes sense.
That brings him closer to victory. So now if Rob can do 2 challenges with his renown and the power claim, that could be very close then. And we know that he has a pretty easy time getting some unopposed in this game with Mira's stat.
So with Jory Cassell, you can also, like, let's say 2 characters on the board, Rob and Jory. You can claim 2 and then sacrifice Jory to save Rob, right? That should also work, right?
Yes, that works. Then Jory ends
Very
up
nice.
in the discard pile and the other character is saved.
Yeah, nice. Haven't seen him in a while as well. Not that common to play him, right? It's pretty good.
No, a lot of the Stark decks, the Fealty decks play some kind of Renown Rush. You usually see Daisy Mormont and Mage Mormont and cards like that have printed Renown. And occasionally you see these decks that go heavy on the Winter team. We see all the plots here are Winter except for the Reset. And then of course his ability is slightly more useful because he does reference that.
Right, but just the save is pretty useful against Valar. Just even for that, I mean, he's kind of pricey, but maybe I guess Stark just doesn't care about resets and just walks through them, and that's the strategy.
Yes, they're extremely annoying, I think, to play against. And I can never get rid of their board, even
Yeah.
if it looks like you've done it, and then somehow they reveal time for wolves, put Summer into play, take Mira back from the dead pile or whatever, and it's
Yeah, that's so frustrating.
big board again.
Yeah, I kind of try to only use Valar if I can help it at all when Summer is already in play for some reason, because it's just too frustrating to see everyone just come back. Well, not everyone, but one character is enough usually.
Yeah, and all of the important little characters work with Summer. There's almost nothing that
Yeah.
has that can be targeted by him.
Yeah.
So does Neo play a time for wolves here?
No,
2 more plots left that we haven't seen.
which is really, I mean, obviously he knows best. It's a superb deck. But it's surprising just because I think, the possibility to pull either Summer or, Grey Wind. But he actually, as we can see here in the discard pile, he uses the character Grey Wind. I really like the attachment Grey Wind and the option to pull the attachment with Time for Wolves, but apparently it works better this way.
Yeah, the attachment is extremely strong.
Yeah.
Against decks that I usually play that have a lot of triggers.
Yeah,
It's
same.
difficult to get past it. It cancels something in marshalling, like a Melisandre trigger, and then something again in challenges. And if you have Robert Barrett in the standing phase, cancels that as well. So impossible to push anything through in terms of triggers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, it gets stronger the more dire wolves you play. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, tough on this. Lukas tried with the grand trigger here, but wasn't enough to prolong the game into another round.
Yeah. Just really strong deck, superbly played. Again, Lukas' deck is incredibly strong also, and he plays it expertly, but this matchup apparently is just really bad. I think he's 0-3 now against this deck. Yeah, really tough.
Yeah, I can show you briefly now what the players played. So here is Lukas's deck. Actually, we were hoping to get Lukas for an episode of the Friendly Council series to show this Night's Watch deck, but we haven't been able to schedule that yet, so hopefully that comes at some point. And
Nice.
we have Neo's deck here. So as you can see, the other plots, there was the 2-claimer, the Long Winter, and also Barring the Gates was available. So 6 winter plots, and he has those claim raising events that you mentioned. Alright, so there we are, our first game from the team regionals on this channel. And there might be some others. There won't be any kind of systematic coverage, but I might catch the occasional game. So hopefully you join us for those. And thanks, Nico, for joining me today and explaining to everyone how this event works.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Congrats to Neo and to the Beasts from the East team. Well played.
Alright, so see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.